100.3 The Beat, Osei the Dark Secret, and I'm joined by some fashion icons. Coco and Breezy are in the building. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. How are you
I'm
doing?
blessed. I'm blessed. So, tell me this. You all travel the world doing a lot of different things. You got a very interesting story and background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, so we're actually from the Midwest. We grew up in Minnesota.
Okay.
We, long story short, when we, about almost 9 years ago, we moved from Minnesota, quit our jobs, sold our car, moved to New York with less than $1,000. We had the crazy idea of starting a company, so we did it. 9 years later, we've been having our eyewear company full time. Our product has been on some of the top stars from Prince, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, who else? Nicki Minaj. Our eyewear is now in 400 stores in the North American market, and we're entrepreneurs, we're DJs and producers, and we just are here to change the world.
I love it. I like the energy. So how do you bridge all of that? Like, how did all this come together? I mean, you say it so matter-of-factly, like, almost like, okay, that was then, but here we are now. But that's, like, monumental. And a lot of people are lucky if they accomplish that in a lifetime, let alone 9 years, right?
Yeah.
So did you always know that this was what you wanted to do?
One thing we always knew we wanted to do was help people. And I think that anything we do with our eyewear, that's we're helping people with their eye health, with our music. We love to bring energy to people. So I think the big point is that we always knew that we wanted to help people and tell a story.
Oh.
And from there, that's when our music, our eyewear, and anything we do, it all kind of comes full circle.
So, you definitely are the cool kids. Were you always?
Yep.
We weren't always the cool kids.
No, we were always the cool kids, but no one thought we were cool because we're from Minnesota, so everyone thought we were weird.
It was different.
Yeah.
Okay, so you, growing up, did it always feel like you were kind of like almost, the odd ones out, but you knew that, you were gonna find the collective that you needed to be a part of.
Yeah, we were bullied when we were younger. So in high school, middle school, we were the ones that were bullied. We sat at the lunch table with each other. But we didn't know, thankfully for the internet, we had a MySpace page, we had a Black Planet, we had a community of people that were like us. And so that's what really helped us find who we were, because we were like, okay, even though we are in Minnesota and no one understands us, New York on the East Coast and West Coast, there's other people like us. So that really helped us look far and really figure out we have a purpose here in life.
And one thing I can say too, I feel like we always had something in our hearts growing up, even as kids, where we knew that we were different, and we knew that we were going to do something in life. We couldn't put our finger on it, but we always knew that we were going to, it sounds so cliche, make it, but we knew that we were going to make it out of the trenches of, like, the bullying and, like, the negative energy.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was first generation. My family's from West Africa. And so when you kind of, like, different for whatever reason, whether it's your name, your look, all those other things, you don't really understand it, so that's why I really asked that question.
Yeah.
And, so amazing. So tell me about this, how you came into the eyewear space. How did you, and by the way, these glasses are phenomenal.
Thank you.
Geez, so tell me about that.
Well, it started with us, like, again, 10 years ago. We made safety goggles. So we knew we wanted to have eyewear, but we didn't have the resources to actually get eyewear manufactured. So we bought safety goggles, and we were hand embellishing, gluing studs and spikes on our glasses. And once we got to New York, they were a hit. Everyone loved them. We were getting a whole bunch of sales. We had every celebrity wearing them. But then from there, we had to figure out how do we actually turn our idea into a real business. And that's when we started manufacturing and designing everything in-house, and we managed all of our production. And so eyewear for us was always something that we loved. We loved fashion, but we felt like eyewear was our one statement piece. And growing up, it was our one thing that we wore to block us from the bullies. We felt like when we had our sunglasses on, it was our alter ego. But now we use it as a medical device, and we want to help people look fly while protecting their eyes.
Wow, amazing. I wore glasses, then I had LASIK.
Well, you can still wear glasses.
Well, you know what? You actually still need glasses that have blue light protection.
Yeah.
So even if you
Is
don't
that what
have,
you're wearing?
So these right here actually are sunglasses, but all of our clear frames, that if you don't need prescription, they have a blue light protection to protect your eyes from, like, the cell phone lights and the computer screens and all that.
Wow, this is a real education in just eye health.
Yeah.
Real quick. So, the first celebrity to really latch or to jump on the product, who was it, and how did that come about?
I would say the first celebrity to really jump on was
Ashanti.
Ashanti. But one of our big people that we actually had to collaborate with was Prince.
How does a Prince collaboration happen? Because you're from Minneapolis, obviously, but
we were living in New York at the time. So
Okay.
that happens when someone from his team reached out to us on Facebook and was like, Prince wants to invite you to his show. And we didn't write them back because we thought it was unreal. And then from there, they were like, Prince wants you guys to go to New Orleans and go to Essence Festival. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is real. And after that, we built a really amazing relationship. He wanted us to go to Minnesota so he could meet our mom and meet our family. And then he said, I want some glasses with 3
So
lenses.
Coco, pause, because you're just running through this. This is
I know.
like crazy, all right? So Prince
Yep.
comes, and it's a really interesting story because you all are from Minneapolis. So what was the conversation like with Prince about that? What did he say to you?
It was so crazy because growing up where our father lived in Chanhassen, it was like we lived in this little small apartment where we were living on like an air mattress, and it was this tiny apartment, but down the street was like, it was down the street from where Prince's compound was, and I remember being a kid walking past it, being like across the street, like, oh my gosh, Prince lives in there, and being so excited. Now like 20 years later, we're kicking it in there.
And not to mention, but before he passes.
Yeah, right before.
So we actually launched the glasses like 3 days before he passed away, and he tweeted the link to our website.
Wow.
And so we actually, when they launched, we don't believe in selling from someone's death, and that's what a lot of people were doing. And at that time, we took down all of our marketing, and we let his one tweet sell the product. And we denied, there was a lot of different press people reaching out to us, and we denied all the interviews because we knew that he wouldn't like that. And so we just kind of kept to ourselves and let his one tweet live. Yeah.
That's I mean, it's just a really powerful story, just for so many reasons. What kind of advice did he give to you? Did you feel as if he knew you all were going to be as big as you had become?
Yeah,
it's so crazy. I think that he had like a thing for twins, and he truly, truly believed in us. And so whenever we would see him, he would just randomly, he was such a quiet person, but anything that came out his mouth was either a joke, which he told me that I didn't have a sense of humor. I don't. Or two, it would be just like, he would just drop a gem. Like he would just say something that was just so powerful and so inspiring. And if he brings you into his circle, it's because he believes in you. And so, what are some things that he would say to us? I don't know.
He said a lot of good things, but we had the best time with him always.
Wow.
And you weren't allowed to have any cell phones near him or take any phone calls. I think that was a beautiful part, and that's the only story I remember from top to bottom. Every situation from like, we went to dinner with him so many times, went to Paisley Park. All my experiences with him, I remember
Literally.
I remember everything because I didn't have my cell phone. So I wasn't text messaging, I wasn't on any phone calls,
No
I wasn't
social
on social media. And there's no photos with us, but it's all
memory.
My memory is like on 1,000 with that experience.
Wow.
Because of that.
Very dope. Interesting that you all would have seemingly grown up down the street from the compound. And, just to have that experience, particularly before he died. So, you've gone on, you've had all these other celebrities, Rihanna. What are those interactions like? And, how do those relationships kind of form and build?
You know what it is? A lot of people have purchased our product. It's been organic through our friendships with people that we have. I think we live in New York as well, so I think New York is it's a melting pot, and everyone is in New York. So your life can change within one day because you're walking down the street and you run into one person, and they're like, oh, I'm a stylist, let me pull your glasses. Or somebody might just purchase your frames in the store and wear them. So it's been really, 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 really organic, and that's been so fun and amazing to experience.
But also what I do want to say to like people that are listening, because we're talking about the amazing things and accomplishments, but I also want to say that it was a lot of hard work.
Sure.
It was a lot of like sleeping in a tiny, I remember our first bedroom was smaller than this room. It was the size of the air mattress.
It was like 3 times smaller than this room.
We never complained about those situations because we knew that it would bring us to where we are today. And that whenever you have a dream or a goal, you have to be willing to sacrifice. I think a lot of people, they aren't willing to sacrifice and they want to live in comfort.
What level of sacrifice do you think, just kind of on a basic level, would you tell people to be prepared for in chasing their dream?
I think the bigger picture, and this is one example I always give people. Like for us, we had such a goal, and we knew that we wanted to live in New York. And you know, people say New York is really expensive, but I think you have to kind of sacrifice your lifestyle. So sometimes people will come to New York and they'll be like, "Oh, your apartment is so small, and you pay this much for your apartment? I can get a whole mansion in Minnesota." And I'm like, "Well, my life is huge, you know." So you kind of have to sacrifice a lifestyle that you're used to because your life can be bigger. And I think that that's so important because we get so used to material, and we get so used to certain ways of living. And really, our apartment's cute. It's small, but I don't need a big house right now.
Yeah.
You know, I have a big life. Every day is so different. And I think that that's one big sacrifice is if you feel that leaving your comfort zone where you grew up and going somewhere else to take you outside of your comfort zone, it helps you really reach and achieve things that you want.
I like what you, I'm sorry.
And another, you have to sacrifice some of your friends as well. I think that we get so comfortable with the people that we grew up with or the people who we think are our friends, but if they're not supporting your goals, then you may have to love people from afar. I think it's very important to keep great people and great energy around you, especially if you're trying to reach a certain goal.
It's funny, you know, just you speaking on, you know, friends, because I know a lot of times that can be one of the major influences in someone's life or decisions, you know, just how their friends might perceive some of these things. And, you know, you talked about the struggle. What has success produced, like, in terms of dealing with friendships and family? You know, what have you learned about that?
I would say for me, I've learned that, you know, I don't even see success. I think that for us, our main goal is to really try to help educate people that are around us. Because I think that we as people of color, we don't have a lot of access to a lot. So there are people that are really, really talented, but we don't have as many resources as other people, you know. And I think our main goal is as we learn how to get these resources, how do we help educate our people about these resources? And so even with our family and friends, we try to educate people. But we love, like the other day we were just in Arkansas at our grandma's family reunion for her 90th birthday in the country. And right before Arkansas, we were in this beautiful, fancy, like area in the south of France. And that's why I love my life. Like we were in the south of France, then we flew to Arkansas in the country, kicked it with our family, had the best time ever. And then after that, went back to New York. Like our life changes so much, and I love that, like that mixture of everything.
For me, I feel like that's who we are.
Yeah.
Like, I can't be too fancy and I can't be too country, but it's like if I have a little bit of both of that, I'll never lose that at all. I'm not gonna go to the south of France and act brand new to my family.
Yeah.
Like that's silly.
Yeah.
But I feel like living the best of like multiple worlds is who Coco and I are.
And that's who we've always been. If you keep your identity as you grow, if you stay yourself, you're gonna always have a good life.
And the right people that you have around you they'll keep you humble and grounded.
It's interesting you speak on that because I'm sure you've met a lot of, you know, famous, wealthy people. What do they say about trying to maintain that level, or the ones that you know really feel like you're drawn to? You know, what advice do they give you when it comes to living life?
You know what? The ones that I've been drawn to are the ones that had similar stories to us. I remember one time, this was probably like 8 years ago, Breezy and I were hanging out with, I think we were with Kevin Lyles, and we were with Kevin Lyles and a whole bunch of other people in the music industry. And at that time, Breezy and I, we couldn't afford to take an Uber. And so we were at this beautiful dinner, and they're all hopping in their car service. And I was like, well, we're about to go on the train. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And they're like, okay, cool, you know. And the best part is that they all had those stories when they had to take the train or all the time or sleep on somebody's couch. Yeah. So I think that we really relate to people that have a similar starting story. And it's so dope to see that growth from that.
Growth,
yeah.
That's cool. Really, really humbling. I mean, just to know that, you know, you're able to maintain a great perspective and share it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people don't even know what to do when they seemingly get into those situations because they're trying so hard to maybe, I don't know, aspire to be what they see. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being, you know, just real and practical. But I love how you said you have such a full life. And, you know, one of the other things I wanted to ask you was just about really maintaining a positive perspective. You know, how do you all on a day-to-day basis go about embracing it? Because when you said that, it really resonated, with me from the standpoint of just embracing everything.
Mm-hmm.
But on a day to day, I know you're gonna have tough days. How do you guys work through those?
To be honest, I think we have a mindset that whatever happens in our lives is just a part of the story. So the ups and the downs, I think people look at the downs as a negative thing. We look at it as like the roller coaster effect. Like the other day, Coco and I, we had this bomb DJ gig. We DJ'd, killed the game. But then the whole day we had a beautiful meeting. Everything was just so awesome. And then towards the end of the night, we came across a couple challenges. And we're like, this should happen because our day was so amazing that it can't be perfect. We should have some challenges tonight. Like, it was a challenging night.
It makes you grow a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
and I was like,
Okay.
that's awesome. Like, we recognize, when you recognize things like that, and it's your choice how you want to perceive it. Like, we have a choice of how we want something to make us feel. And at that moment, we could have been, like, upset. We could have been like, oh man, why me? But I'm like, we just had this bomb-ass day.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not
No.
sure. We just had this bomb day. We can go through a couple challenges.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. I'm not going to complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's the way of how we look at things.
So switching gears for a minute, because I know you guys have me like really just understanding your perspective, right, in life, and I love it. Let's talk about the music.
Yes.
Let's really talk about the music. So, I mean, you've met all these other people through what some might consider a whole another platform or a non-traditional platform, but you guys are really into music. So talk to me first about the DJing aspect, because I'm sorry, because I've been so engaged in the conversation. We got to tell them that you're here tonight for a big event in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's going down, and you're going to be DJing there too, right?
Yeah, we're DJing the after party.
After party. Well,
Yep.
you're DJing the after party, but a big fashion event with Mother Management, and maybe you can speak on that as we transition.
Yeah, so Mother Models are having a tribute fashion fest, which I'm so excited about. We were just here a few weeks ago, and when I tell you everyone from St. Louis talked about it, it is a talk about out here. And so I think that the show's gonna be amazing. We're DJing the after party. And one thing I love about DJing when we're from the East Coast and we go into the Midwest, we love to bring our East Coast energy into the Midwest. So I'm really pumped to give people a taste of our music.
Absolutely. So, the inspiration from a DJ perspective for you all, where does that come from? And how did you guys get into DJing?
So Coco and I, we love bringing people on a journey. And even before eyewear, music was always a part of our lives. Like our mom is Puerto Rican, so we grew up with her always singing and playing instruments and always playing music in the house. And we also grew up dancing. Like, dance was life for us. And so we were in all the talent shows. We used to make our own mixes. We used to listen to the radio because we didn't have like any friends that made mixes, right? So for our talent shows, we would listen to the song on the radio, and then we have a cassette tape. So you record a part of the song, then you kind of you rewind it a little bit, and then you wait till the next song to come on that you're looking for, and then you record it some more. So we used to make a whole mix, like a whole 30-minute mix.
Like that.
Yeah, like that, and that's kind of how DJing started. Cause
Well,
we were making
we were
not really
kids,
as kids. We were like 8 years old making mixes.
When did you get your first piece of equipment? When did you know what I'm saying, like what?
We actually didn't really like start until like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Because we really wanted to focus on our eyewear company, and we felt like anything we do, we have to put 100 into it. So we knew that we didn't have enough time to put like our 1,000 into it, and so we actually started going hard about 4.5, almost 5 years ago, and it's been dope. I can say that when we first started, the one challenge was that, because for us, when we learned, we had to learn right, and we had the best mentor. She's another woman DJ, and I think that it's so beautiful for we women to stick together. But the one challenge I can say is that men, I love to walk into the booth, and they're kind of mean sometimes because they don't know. And
then you think they're intimidated, or what do you?
I think that they're either intimidated or they may prejudge. I think they prejudge a lot because they assume that just because we're women that come from a fashion background, they don't know that we know what we're doing, or I think they prejudge women all the time in this world. And I think that our goal is to, not saying have them not do that, but I think that men should stop prejudging women as DJs or as producers. Like, it shouldn't be a challenge for us. And one thing that Coco and I thrive off of is that we love to. First of all, we're Leos, so we love to take over the room, and if we can do that through music, there's nothing better than that. And so like controlling the room, controlling people's emotions, and making people dance is like the best feeling for us.
And we have one rule, because since we come from a dance background, if we're not dancing, that means we're not killing it. So we literally, like, we have our own dance party.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So if we're not dancing, then we're not killing it. So as soon as I'm not dancing, then we gotta switch it up a little bit.
But something that we're super excited about is that we dropped our first single as producers, and it's called Differences, and we're dropping a music video for it December 7th.
Yeah, so it's a cover of Differences, Genuine Differences. We got it clear, which I'm excited about. But the music video comes out December 7th, and then DJ Slink, who's an amazing producer, DJ from Jersey, he did a remix that's coming out the same day as the music video.
So this is your first song that you all kind of produced and putting out. That's dope.
Not kind of produced, we did produce it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He said
I know when you said it was like Genuine Differences, I just was like,
well, no, we had someone, we produced the full record, but then we had someone re-sing the vocals.
I got you. Okay, understood. Clear. Well, congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's big. Where do you want to go with music? Where do you see yourselves taking it?
I think with us, one, having a performing background, and then two, making music and DJing, I think our main goal is to put on our own show and perform our own music and have our own shows that is fully our own music, our full performance, live band, everything.
And creating an experience. I think anything we do in life is all about creating an experience and creating brand equity, which is like an emotional connection. And so if we can do that through music, through eyewear, and bringing all of our worlds together, that is the best thing. And something that I always say, I think when people see women doing multiple things, they're always like, how do you manage all of that? But when you see a man, he gets called a Renaissance man. But women, they're like, how are you able to handle all of these talents per se? But for us, we're doing multiple things, but they all come together. It's all our world.
You have an amazing story, and I see obviously a lot. What's next on the production level? I mean, are you getting in there with any of your favorite artists?
Well, we're in the studio all of November, so we're just gonna be making music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
Something I'm pumped about though is our friend.
Yep, in New York.
Yeah, our friend Trinidad. He's putting out a mixtape, Trinidad James, and it's for a good cause. People that are coming to the event, all the money that's going towards it. I think he's doing a pizza party. And for people that buy the pizza, all the money is going towards breast cancer. And so we're DJing that mixtape launch.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We do a big breast cancer walk called Sister Strut. And it's definitely geared towards educating women of color, so that's strong. What do you think about for him as a man jumping out there and doing that around breast cancer? I mean, what are the impressions about that, around him? What do you think? Because I haven't really heard as much from him, but to hear that he's doing something that impactful is really cool.
Yeah, I know he loves his mom, and he loves like, he's very respectful to women, and he's team women, team girl power. Even for his birthday, we DJ'd that, but he like really wanted
only women DJs.
Only women DJs. And so he's very supportive and like women empowerment.
Okay.
And we got a sneak peek of his new album. It's so good.
Really?
Yes.
Are we gonna be like surprised?
Blown away.
Shocked?
Yeah.
I like to hear that. You got any production on there?
No, we don't.
Okay. You holding fast for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, well, Coco Breezy, you all have an amazing life, a very interesting just journey that you all are on, and it sounds amazing. Last questions for you. What do you think about, I heard you all mention your sign, Leos. What do you think about astrology?
I mean,
you know what? I can't say I'm super deep into astrology, but I can say that I am a Leo. I don't know about other signs, but I know about mine. I check on it because I feel like I'm very aligned with being a Leo. But I don't know. I'm not really strong about it. But I'm more so about.
I do believe though, like if we're all born, if the stars were aligned at a certain time, like, I don't know, I feel like there has to be some type of connection. I'm not like super educated on it, but like I write down my intentions during like a full moon. I believe in that. I do believe in like whatever we put out to the world, like we can receive it. but it's all a mind thing. Like we can control that. So it's all about being patient.
But we are the ultimate Leos, though.
100%. We're so shy. It's so funny. We're so shy. But then we walk into a room, like we love the attention, but we also don't. We're so shy, but then we're like, I'm letting y'all know we're here.
That's a Leo thing.
I'm not gonna talk to you because I'm so shy.
Yeah.
But like, I know when I walk in, like my presence is.
But we've been working
heard.
on our shyness, actually.
Yeah.
We're not shy
It
anymore.
doesn't seem, well, I mean, I don't think you come across, I think you go
Well,
very
it's only when we're in
confident.
a room. When we're in a room full of a whole bunch of people.
And when we're
Yeah.
talking about inspiring stuff, like when we're on the stage, like again, it's a Leo thing. When I can like talk about my story or talk about inspiring things, I open up. But if I'm just in a room at a party, I'm like kicking it in the corner. I'm chilling.
Like, we're not social butterflies where we're like talking to everybody. But now we recently, and this comes with like with self-growth, we noticed that was an issue for us, that we were kind of having this social anxiety. And once we pointed that out, we've been challenging ourselves to get rid of that, because it can stop you from a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine it helps having your sister, you know, right
Oh my
there.
gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Every step of the way, and having a
Definitely.
real person to, okay.
Yeah.
And the reason I was also interested in that was just when you said that Prince recognized, like, he really was drawn towards twins, and I know he's a Gemini, even though he may not really, you know, vibe on the astrological piece per se. But very cool. Anything you want to share? Any last words or anything you want to tell everybody?
I think we're just really excited to be in St. Louis right now. It's cold, but we love it. And tonight is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
The Tribute Fashion Fest is going to be amazing. And if people still want tickets, they can do a discount code called Tribute40 online. It's at tributefashionfest.com.
Okay, solid. And last thing, social media, or I mean, how you guys using technology? I mean,
Yeah,
do
so-
you?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Everything is just Coco and Breezy.
Okay, all right, very simple. All right, behind the beat with Coco and Breezy, it goes down right here on 100.3 The Beat. Wow, so that's really part of it. It really goes on the podcast, and that's why I was like really interested in talking to you across the board about your overall
Thank you.
experience.
I love
You-
all your questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you all are dope.